I was brought up in a loving Christian family and in a wonderful church, but was always taught that homosexuality is a sin. I'm struggling with my own Christian and queer identity at the same time. For some reason, I cling to the belief that it is a sin because any argument that it isn't always seems to me like it's not God-fearing. I need us to sit with that for a minute. Any argument that it isn't always seems like it is not God-fearing. This person is clinging to a belief that causes them pain because letting go feels dangerous spiritually. And I want us to honor that tension because that is real. The fear is real. And here's the question I want to ask. What does the fear protect? Because sometimes what we call God-fearing isn't about God at all. Sometimes it's community-fearing. We're afraid of losing our people, our place, our sense of belonging. Sometimes it's certainty-fearing. We are terrified of the instability that comes when the answers we were given start to crack open. And sometimes it is self-fearing. We are afraid of what it means about us if we were wrong, if we are wrong, or if we let ourselves want what we want and be who we are. The real question, I think, is not do you fear God, but which God are you fearing? The one you were taught about? The one that you are encountering now in your own body? And if you know this feeling, you know what I'm saying, but is it even bad to fear something new? Because the thing that you've known, you know that it is bad. Let's talk about the sin framework for a second, because that entire framing depends on a handful of Bible verses that have been filtered through centuries of translation, cultural bias, and power dynamics. Scholars who dedicate their entire lives to understanding these texts in their original languages and cultural contexts disagree about what these passages mean. Are they ancient purity codes that we no longer allow? Are they about abusive power dynamics, master and slave, adult and child? Context matters, translation matters, and the people doing the interpreting, their biases matter too. But even if we set aside all of this scholarly debate, we still have to ask a fundamental question. If the fruit of a theology is shame and self-hatred, severing yourself from love and connection, we have to ask whether that reflects the character of God or the limitations of people and systems that have built that theology. Jesus said, "You will know a tree by its fruit." What is the fruit that theology has produced in your life and in the life of people weaponizing this theology against you? Has it really produced love? You know what really strikes me as God-fearing? Wrestling, struggling, refusing easy answers, staying in the tension long enough to let it break you, let it remake you. I think about Jacob wrestling with God all night. He didn't get certainty. He got a new name and a limp, a disability. He was changed by the struggle. Maybe that is where you are right now, in that struggle, in that wrestling. And maybe the point isn't to resolve it quickly or find the right answer that makes everyone else around you comfortable. Maybe the point is to let the wrestling do its work in you. What if your queerness isn't a problem to solve? What if it's actually the invitation to a deeper, more embodied, dare I call it, faith? What if the divine meets you in your queerness and not despite it? I think the opposite of faith is certainty, the kind of certainty that doesn't leave room for God to be bigger than what we can imagine, more surprising than our doctrines, more loving than what we were taught. Being loved when you haven't been loved is a terrifying experience. I remember my therapist saying to me, "I'm sorry, I think you're in love." And that struggle, I think, is the sign of the most honest, courageous faith ever. To anyone else out there wrestling with this right now, keep letting the discomfort transform you. Let's limp together. If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy my course, Faith Deconstruction 101, Leaving the Church Without Losing Yourself. I also run a Patreon community where we are doing monthly studies deconstructing and reconstructing women in the Bible. The link is you know where.